Hi everybody, it's Tracy. I'm just back to talk about something that really concerns me about people my age. And that is that I have had many conversations I'm 56, and I've had many conversations with friends who are sort of in my age group. I consider this to be like pre-retirement age. This is our last real decade that we can work and save for retirement before it's retirement, right? Or at least we hope for retirement, or if not, if you want to keep working, that's great, but it would be by choice, not be because you have to. Especially because as we get older, we are just more likely to have some type of illness that might prevent us from working. And we just don't know. Like, you don't know. Like, I don't know. I might be healthy until I'm 100 and be able to work, or I might not. Maybe I'm going to have a reason that working becomes difficult. So anyway, I like to ask friends how much they have saved for retirement, or if they're going to retire, or what they are doing to save for retirement, or what their plan is during retirement. And I've been doing this since my 40s, like, just curious, like, what are people doing? What are their plans for retirement? And when you consider that nowadays, what is the average age that people live now? It's older than it used to be. It used to be like 74 for men and 76 or 77 for women. Well, I think it's higher than that now. It's getting more like, in the upper 70s, early 80s, I believe. And depending on what year you're born, I think it's gone up and up and up. So it probably depends on when exactly you were born. But anyway, typically people think about retiring at 65 or 70. If you're lucky, earlier. And if you're like just normal, then 65 or 70. So it's a good question to ask people. And I've asked a lot of people that I know over the years. So I'm 56, so it's probably for about 16 years I've been asking people, and I have not really had satisfying answers from most people that I know. Most people that I know are not saving for retirement at all, and they just don't like to think about it, or they just think they're not going to retire ever because they can't. Or their plan is to just sell their house where they're at and move somewhere cheaper, so they'll take the money out of the house, and that will be what they live on. What's the other ones I've heard? Some people had bigger retirements, and then 2008, the financial crisis hit, and they got scared and sold everything out of their stock market or mutual fund savings or 401ks. They got freaked out, and they sold when the market was low. So that wiped out their retirement at that time, and they've just never quite recovered. So that's a big negative one that's happened. But it's caused people to sort of lose faith in their retirement, their ability to have a retirement. And so I'm also in the sort of sandwich generation where people my age have kids they're still either supporting or putting through college, but they also have aging parents that they're helping take care of, maybe financially or physically or with their medical stuff. So they're sort of stressed on both sides. But the biggest thing I see is that people just don't really either have a plan, or they don't want to think about it. They just don't want to I mean, and I get it. If you don't have a plan and you're not doing anything, it's just hard to think about. So you might decide, I don't want to think about it because thinking about it's kind of scary. So I think that it's not a great idea, though. So I'm kind of worried about my friends in this time of life. So if you're younger, I recommend you don't do that. I recommend you actually plan for your retirement younger. Maybe not through, I don't know how, maybe starting a business, even if you're older, actually. Starting a business or something where maybe an online business, maybe a YouTube channel or something where you can generate income into retirement that you enjoy and that possibly helps you pay the bills, or whatever, just whatever. You got to do something, because doing nothing is not a great answer, and certainly not thinking about it's not a great answer. But it is something that just concerns me, and I worry about it. And I haven't gotten a lot of great answers from people that are my age or around my age, so it's a concern. I do have one friend who, she doesn't even make that much money. She's a single mom. She's never made that much money, but she has always planned for her retirement since as long as I can remember. And she's got a lot of money put away. And she never made a lot, but she's in really good shape just because she's consistently always done it. So it just shows you that you don't have to make a ton of money, but if you plan over time, even just doing that, that's a better plan than doing nothing. So how about you guys? Have you planned anything, or what are you doing for retirement? What should I be doing that I'm not doing? Like, do you have any recommendations for me or for everybody else? Like, what do you think we should all be doing that we're not doing, especially at this age in our lives where we are, getting closer to retirement? If we have not begun retirement, what do you think we should do? What are the options? What are your top few things that you think are good options that you could share with the group so that we can all do better for ourselves, so that we are not a burden to our own children in retirement? God, wouldn't that be a drag? That's the last thing I'd want to be, as a burden to my burden to my children. They don't need that. Anyway, give me your ideas. I'd love to hear it. Have a great rest of your day.